Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. Gotta make this quick. Unfortunately, still experiencing the technical difficulties. Rather curious as to their origin. All right. But for my folks who have a background in ufology, let's talk quickly about genetic manipulation programs. So, for those of you who are familiar with my man Billy Carson, who has been appearing recently on Brother Rich's channel, 363 Black Magic 363. Shout out to both of those brothers and props and thanks for the work that you're doing. But yeah, he is known to have translated the Sumerian tablets, which refer in great detail to the Anunnaki civilization and their otherworldly intervening in human genetic development or evolutionary development. And my man, Brother Seven Bomar, gave I thought, a pretty enlightening, Seven Bomar, when he appeared on Brother Rich's channel, gave a rather enlightening version or perspective on which to look at that as well. But you know, there have been other civilizations that have intervened to perform genetic manipulation on this planet. Now, if you'll go back and check, you'll see that David Icke interviewed the great brother Credo Mutwa, the Zulu spiritual leader, who spoke about ancient times on the continent there. You all know I try to stray away from saying Africa, but I guess it's the easiest way to refer. But yeah, in ancient times, far before some of these aforementioned genetic manipulation programs, that reptilians and other species, right, other civilizations, had sort of conspired they conspired and worked together to interfere greatly in the genetic makeup of the highly melanated or black people that they found there in Africa, right? Because those that they came across, which if you'll connect another dot back to what Dr. Delbert Blair talks about in terms of the origin and how we highly melanated folks, we're on this planet originally taking physical form, right? So, same folks that the reptilians encountered on the continent and quickly decided they couldn't easily manipulate these folks. You got to realize we're talking about highly melanated people operating on a multi-dimensional level, likely with full DNA efficacy. In fact, Dr. Blair talks about how they were 12-strand DNA. Not 2, 12-strand DNA people inhabiting the planet at the time in physical form. And Credo Mutwa talked about how indigenous people on the continent had extraordinary capabilities beyond what we have today in the areas of telekinesis, telepathy, incredible abilities to control and interface with nature itself, right? The animals, the plants, the planet, the weather systems. very, very actually advanced and evolved people, right? Um, but being of those higher vibrational frequencies, not being very familiar with low vibrational frequencies, with low vibrational frequency beings and their low vibrational frequency tactics of deception. And were subsequently deceived by those reptilians and those others that they conspired with to interfere with those 12-strand DNA highly melanated folks, and which is how we got down to a double helix, only 2-strand, right? Literally 10-strand of DNA made inoperable, for lack of a better description. And this is what is referred to as the junk DNA now, partially referred to. And Dr. Delbert Blair made some very interesting comments as to how ridiculous that is, that it's junk DNA, which I've been saying that for years. I even said that in school. Why would the creator just have these remnants of DNA that are not useful, that's junk? It doesn't even sound right. But anyway, that is another very important DNA manipulation program, a genetic manipulation program being done on the planet. And there are others. There's speculated that insectoid species, otherworldly beings, have also ran similar genetic manipulation programs, that there have been various gene splicing programs, which has resulted in a number of hybrids, which could explain some of the legends we have of hybrid beings like werewolves, etc. Although you can take that particular hybrid being, or if it's even a hybrid being, and there's alternate explanations there as well, as we refer back to the skinwalker legends of the Native Americans, as well as others, other indigenous folks. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure I get as much in as possible before I'm cut off again. But yeah, we see now the picture is much more grand, than just what the Anunnaki have done on this planet. There have been several civilizations who have conducted genetic manipulation programs and or gene splicing programs producing hybrids. It's not as simple as, well, I won't even get into the conversation as to how and which races had been affected in what different ways by these genetic manipulation slash and also gene splicing, hybrid producing experimentation or programs. But these have all been very carefully carried out. If you start to cognize that a little bit, maybe some of the tracking that has been done by some of these otherworldly civilizations or beings starts to make a little bit more sense, right? Because if you think about it, if they had performed these programs, these genetic manipulation programs, wouldn't they keep track of their experiment, right? Open your mind up to a different way of looking at this than there's just these simple nefarious abductions for these other dark reasons. Not saying that those things don't take place, not saying that there are not abductions that may be conducted by shadow government entities using technology that we think don't exist. It doesn't exist. Which, by the way, folks, those very skilled and very advanced scientists, but Nazi scientists who made some incredible breakthroughs before the breakup of Nazi Germany. Many of them ended up in the United States. Many of them ended up as heads of major corporations who do some incredible scientific research and development, and have incredibly huge government contracts, right? And I know about that myself firsthand from having worked in that field a bit. But anyway, yeah, these programs are numerous. They have been very carefully executed, and the subjects kept track of, right? So all that has gone on, and all that initial manipulation ties into, you know, the manipulation and the level of manipulation that these otherworldly beings, entities, or civilizations interact with, and the level of interference, if you want to call that, that they have in our everyday lives and the way that we run this planet, or think that we run the planet, right? It starts to make sense when you cognize these programs. But yeah, no less nefarious, no less dark, but maybe a little bit more understandable, a little bit more, a little easier to cognize. You know, it's a little bit different than, oh, this species just came out of nowhere. You know, this civilization just came out of nowhere, happened to stumble upon our planet, and then just started, you know, abducting people and doing this and that. Well, you know, it's a little bit more to it than that, and there's a little bit more of an organized element to it than maybe we think. All right, so I said that this might be intriguing to my ufologists. It really has got to be intriguing to all of us, because some of these things explain the origins of issues that we're dealing with on the planet right now, and things that we have to continue to move and push our way through as we continue on in cementing our new paradigm, which means that we first have to get rid of the old paradigm, and all of that is certainly part of the old paradigm. All right? Glad I got this one out. Thank you all. Please remember, like, share, subscribe. Please, let's continue to grow this channel, grow and keep the movement growing and pushing forward, delivering this message, keep delivering light. And please, everybody, please stick together as we move forward, and always continue to grow this beautiful movement we have developed. What's that? Big King Sadiq. The worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq. I'm out.